Hello everyone, this is Dr. Wan Tang again, and as you can see I'm in a backyard here, actually swinging, and today's video is really personal. It's about motion sickness, which I have. Motion sickness can stop you from travel. It has definitely stopped me in the past. So let's talk about it. So motion sickness is really all in our heads. Yes, I said it, it's in our heads. And what that means is we get motion sickness because of the way our brain processes sensory input. In a simpler way, whatever we see, hear, or feel, if it doesn't connect right and doesn't translate into one motion, we get really sick. For instance, I'm the designated driver on every road trip, more or less, because I do better looking straight ahead, and I know the road, I know the curves and the turns, so I don't get sick. If I'm in the passenger side, well, I can see the road, but I'm not the one controlling those curves and turns. So all of a sudden, I'm nauseated, I'm really queasy, and if it just so happens I'm taking that in visually, and I hear something else that doesn't go in line with that, I'm gonna be barfing in no time. So I know there are a lot of you out there who deal with motion sickness, and for a very long time I wouldn't take a boat ride or a cruise for that matter because I was just that scared. So is it possible to get motion sickness if you're not in a car or not in a plane, boat? Yes, it is. I've actually gotten motion sickness on a merry-go-round. Yep. I was on a merry-go-round with a young kid of mine, and I got so sick I couldn't wait for the ride to stop. I had to get off. And it's just that simple. I probably won't get motion sick in this video swinging, especially with my feet on the ground. But most recently, my older two dared me to roll down the hill with them. Oh no, come on mom, you can do it, you can do it. And I did, but I got really sick after that. So I am not rolling down a hill again. Some interesting facts about motion sickness include the fact that women and children seem to be most prone to it. There seems to be a genetic predisposition to this, and we know estrogen is a major culprit in causing motion sickness. Prescriptions can also cause it, and thinking about motion sickness can bring it on as well. The motion sickness, just from rolling down a hill, you say? Yes. Why? Because our joints are also part of that sensory input. So your joints, your muscles, the visual, the auditory, ears and eyes is what I mean. All of that contributes to how you perceive your sense of where you are in space. So yes, you can get motion sick just from rolling down a hill. It's not really something that we know why it happens, but it does happen. Can you cure it? Absolutely not. Like I said, it's in your genes, but you sure can manage it. So let's talk about how to manage your motion sickness. Yes, so managing motion sickness, totally doable. Let's talk about what you can do apart from avoiding motion or travel. So the first thing I would suggest is trying as much as possible to focus on one of those auditory or visual inputs. So when I'm driving, I'm totally focused on the road, and that helps why I'm not getting sick as opposed to being in the passenger side. The other thing that we can do is get over-the-counter medicines. You've probably seen pills for motion sickness like Dramamine. That's over the counter, and it's preferably taken before you actually get sick. And there are other medications over the counter. We've seen antihistamines. Some people will take Benadryl to help with the motion sickness. Actually, chewing gum helps me sometimes just focus and will help that subside. Or when you get that nauseated feeling, this is where your anti-nausea medicines come in. So you can use something over the counter for nausea or your physician, your doctor can prescribe it for you, especially if you know you have upcoming travel that involves a plane ride or a boat ride where you usually get sick. For boat rides, I would really recommend a scopolamine patch. And these are patches that go on your skin, in the back of your ear there. A scopolamine patch you would wear every 72 hours or every 3 days. Talk to your doctor more and see if you can get a prescription. It might help. Of course, your doctor would know if that's a good option for you. Here's a quick summary of how to combat motion sickness. There's always your anti-motion pills over the counter, Dramamine. You can take ginger or peppermint, like I talked about chewing gum. Ginger is recommended about 1 to 2 grams for anti-nausea, has been used very successfully in pregnant patients. Also, vitamin B6 has been shown to help a lot with motion sickness and nausea. Drinking a soda can help. I tend to go for a ginger ale. And lastly, trying to block out all those sensory inputs. So having earplugs and blinders. Once you have tried your anti-nausea, your anti-motion, your scopolamine patch, or your anti-allergy like an antihistamine, like your Benadryl, and you're still not getting there, here are some other things you can do just by yourself that might help. So I did mention the gum, but also, where are you sitting in that car or that airplane? If you sit at the front or the back, you probably will get sicker. It's much, much better to sit kind of in the middle where you don't feel too much of those movements and sensory input thrown off. I was very, very well advised by a travel agent friend of mine. Go ahead and get a top deck when you do your cruise. Get a top deck, get enough room, so we always try to get a suite instead of a cabin if you can, because the cabins are smaller and you feel more in that space. So she says get a top deck and try to be more at the front, at the helm of the cruise ship. And so that actually has made cruising a lot more fun for me. I honestly didn't have to use my patch the last cruise I took. However, I am very consistent. Every time we go boating, I have that patch on, and it makes a world of difference. So don't let motion sickness stop you from getting your travel on. The same thing applies to our young travelers as far as preventing motion sickness. Putting down those video games, opening a window, and the gum, ginger, or peppermint is just as valid. In this picture, there's also mention of applying pressure to the child's wrist. This is an acupuncture technique. Applying the right amount of pressure to this spot, the pericardia 6, can prevent nausea and vomiting. As always, thanks for watching. And like I said, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up, love the likes. Subscribe, so I don't always have to send the link for you to find our content. And please do leave a comment, leave us some suggestions. We're always improving. If you have a way that you manage your motion sickness, I am all ears. It's something I've dealt with all my life, and yes, it is personal. So, from Dr. Awantang, this is Family Travel Africa. Hope you're enjoying your summer, and until next time, bye-bye.
What you do? Subscribe.